Welcome to this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review, a roundup of the highlights of government-related activities and programs that have taken place over the past week. In this program, we focus on the period December 8th to the 14th. Coming up, $706 million budget passed, Department of Social Services launches report, Sustainable Tourism Forum held despite delays, and Federation observes CARICOM Cuba Day. These and more ahead. Thank you for joining. My name is Jacqueline Bryan. The Appropriation 2018 Bill of 2017 of just over $706 million was passed in the House of Assembly on December 12th. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris wrapped up the debate on the budget after 4 days of heated presentations and debates. Some of the capital projects earmarked to commence in 2018 are the second cruise pier, the rehabilitation of the Old Road Fisheries Complex, the continuation of the Unity Housing Solution Program, and the upgrading of the Island Main Road. Prime Minister Harris, who is also the Minister of Finance, said all indicators point to a strong and robust economy in St. Kitts and Nevis. Permanent secretaries and select heads of departments from various government ministries attended a 2-day training session hosted by the Caribbean Leadership Program. The theme for the training was Building and Maintaining Cross-Functional and Interministerial Teams. It was held on December 12th and 13th and was a collaboration between the local Human Resource Management Department and the Canada School of Public Service, which was the executing agency for the project. It focused on 3 main objectives. Firstly, developing key leadership skills required for building high-performance, cross-functional and interministerial teams. Secondly, developing strategies to improve cross-functional and interministerial collaboration for organizational effectiveness. And thirdly, creating an action plan to sustain the effectiveness of cross-functional and interministerial teams. In delivering welcome remarks during the opening ceremony on Tuesday, December 12th, Jamila Adams, Assistant Human Resource Manager, said that the sessions were designed to better equip leaders in the workplace with the skills necessary to achieve the objectives.
CLP has been conducting training over the past 5 to 6 years in collaboration with governments across the region with a hope to build a cadre of human resource personnel whose performance would surpass any other. Many others like yourself have participated in similar sessions and would have benefited greatly. As the main sponsorship for the CLP program neared an end, the CLP turned its attention to ensuring the sustainability of its leadership development program and organized a forum geared towards achieving this goal.
Assistant Human Resource Manager Jamila Adams. The Regional Project Office is hosted by the Cave Hill School of Business of the University of the West Indies in Barbados. Several Caribbean territories, including St. Kitts and Nevis, are participating in the project. It also targets key regional institutions that play a pivotal role in advancing regional integration and economic development. The State of the World's Children report by the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund, also known as UNICEF, was launched on December 11th by the Department of Social Services in St. Kitts. The report, which was first published in 1980, focuses on key issues such as disability, gender, adolescence, maternal health, and children in a digital world. Mr. Patrick Knight, Communication Specialist for UNICEF, gave an overview of the 2017 World Children's Report, which focuses on children in the digital age. He explained that the report outlines the different ways in which technology affects children.
Digital technology, as many of you already know, has already changed the world. It's changed the way you communicate on a daily basis, and it's changed the way that our children communicate. And as more and more children go online around the world, it is increasingly changing childhood. I'm sure many of you already see those changes in your children from when you were a child, when you were outside running around, playing in the streets and so on. You see the changes that it is bringing. And the report will gives a chapter on the Caribbean, and it includes St. Kitts.
He noted that the State of the World's Children Report 2017 sums up 6 priority actions to harness the power of digitization while benefiting the most disadvantaged children and limiting harm to the most vulnerable. These 6 actions are to provide children with affordable access to high-quality online resources, to protect children from harm online, to safeguard children's privacy and identities online, to teach children digital literacy and keep them informed, to leverage the power of the private sector to advance ethical standards and practices, and finally, to put children at the center of digital policy. The Climate Smart Sustainable Tourism Forum took place in St. Kitts this past week with over 100 local, regional, and international delegates. It was held under the theme, Good for Us, Better for All. It took place on December 12th and 13th at the Ocean Terrace Inn. It was previously scheduled for September, however, an active hurricane season almost resulted in its cancellation. Delivering the featured address at the forum's opening ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Kathleen Henry Morton, said that climate change could have a tremendous impact on tourism and noted that St. Kitts was doing its part to sustain its tourism product in spite of this.
We need not delude ourselves. We know that tourism activity, when not properly managed, feeds climate change. Despite what some skeptics may say, there is ample evidence that some tourism-related activity is inexorably linked to climate change across economic sectors and across national and regional boundaries. Our responses to climate change and sea level rise must be coordinated with and integrated into existing policies of socioeconomic development and environmental conservation, so we can facilitate both sustainable development and sustainable tourism.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Kathleen Henry Morton. Friends, family, and well-wishers looked on with pride as they witnessed the symbolic passing out of new recruits, which signaled that they were now officially officers with the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. The 40th graduation ceremony of the Police Recruit Training Course number 41 took place at the Police Training Complex in Bastille on December 12th. The 34 men and women had successfully endured one of the longest training courses in the history of the police force. Several awards were distributed at the ceremony. The top award went to Woman Constable Shatresha Ephraim, who received the Baton of Honor from the Commissioner of Police, along with a plaque and a trophy. She was given these awards for being named the most outstanding student. She also received awards for Best at Rifle Shooting, Best at Kit and Turnout, Best at Physical Training, and Best at Drills. Constable Akil Jones was also awarded for Best at Rifle Shooting. Constable Elric Prentice won the award for Best at Pistol Shooting and Best at Weapon Training, while the award for Best at Self-Defense went to Constable Emerson Archibald. Best at Police Subjects and Best at Evidence and Procedure went to Constable Bentley Bessette, and Best Results in Final Exams went to Constable Jensen Childs, who was also selected as the Most Improved Student. Constable Kareem Romney was named the Most Disciplined Student. There was also an award for the Best Syndicate that went to the 13 officers who comprised one of the 2 syndicates. Inspector Eldrin Dickinson, commandant at the Police Training Complex, gave an overview of the training at the ceremony.
Graduates completed 25 weeks of in-class and about 12 weeks of on-the-job training because of numerous breaks. During class training, they were taught subjects such as criminal law, evidence and procedure, general duties, foot and arms drill, psychology, sociology, domestic violence, weapon training, 6-point plan, use of force, human rights, police act, police regulation, report writing, case file preparation, aspects of the Drug Act and the traffic regulation.
The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis joined other CARICOM member states in observing CARICOM Cuba Day on December 8th. 45 years ago, 4 independent CARICOM states, namely Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago, established diplomatic relations with Cuba. St. Kitts and Nevis officially established diplomatic relations with Cuba in May of 1995. In an official address to the nation, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris praised the strong bonds of friendship between the Caribbean community, also referred to as CARICOM, and the Republic of Cuba, as well as those between Cuba and the Federation.
The bonds of friendship between CARICOM and Cuba are underpinned by pillars of solidarity, commitment, and cooperation in socio-economic, political, and environmental spheres. The relationship is embodied in the provision of scholarship grants and training opportunities, specifically in the areas of health, trade, agriculture, energy, disaster management, tourism development, culture, heritage, and sports, ensuring the well-being of our people and society.
And that concludes this week's program. I was your presenter, Jacqueline Bryan, and I hope you enjoyed it. Join us next time. Take care.